Hey guys, welcome to a rain-delayed, rain-soaking um, reaction to Dover weekend. Billy's busy again because he has a life and a job and everything too. So I'm here with Robert again.
Hello, I'm back again.
Don't call it a comeback. You've been here for 2 weeks. Is that still a funny meme, or am I just showing my ever increasing age?
Yes,
Yes.
that's all. Yes,
All right. Well, let's talk about this race weekend. I'm gonna start out by putting a disclaimer out there. I did not wake up at 7 in the morning yesterday to watch F1. I'm sorry. I
not on a,
like back.
not for me.
I like Baku, Azerbaijan. Um, I'm sure it was a pretty good race for as good a race as F1 can have. I saw that Perez won, so I guess we have a championship battle now.
We do.
Okay. We'll see how that goes. They're going to Miami next week. I think Verstappen might push Perez wide into the ocean, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyway, so that's that. Let's go back to the beginning of the weekend. Let's talk about Xfinity, which was, and I'm going to say this again later, but I watched a Truex dominate a race, and I enjoyed every bit of it.
Surprisingly, I felt the same way.
What have we become?
We're enjoying Truex domination.
Which I guess the Cup race wasn't as much domination because he didn't really get up there till late, but we'll talk about that later. But we talked about it, last week about Ryan Truex?
2 weeks ago,
2
Martinsville.
weeks. Yep, Martinsville, about Ryan Truex and how if you're in that 19 car, what do you got to do?
You gotta win a race.
And what did he just do?
He dominated and won the race.
He took him to the fucking cleaners, and it was glorious. I I wasn't expecting it. I know he's had pace. He was really fast at Phoenix, which I don't know how that translates to Dover, but the
Not a,
car's just fast. Um, he did exactly what he was supposed to do. The pit crew didn't let him down. He didn't get stuck in traffic, and he dominated, just absolutely dominated. And Logano being in the booth for it, given how, well, 2012 Dover went.
yeah. Oh,
Hey, it happens. Loud traffic played a factor. They did not play a factor this weekend. Ryan dominated. Maybe it's because Joey wasn't in the race to steal it from him.
or actually, lap traffic was actually pretty calm for the most part.
Yeah, well, I mean, they everyone for the most part minded their p's and q's and either held their line or stayed out of the way.
Yeah, and that's all you can ask.
Yep, it's not like it's the truck series where if you try to lap someone for 25th, they'll try to wreck you.
You can't even lap people in the truck series. There's not enough green flag racing.
No, that's true. But man, I really, this is another thing that goes over to the Cup race too. Shout out to Goodyear. Those tires actually fell off.
And fell off quite a bit.
Like I know I know it can obviously be better because the tire, at least in the Cup race, the tires weren't falling off quite as much as they probably should have, but the tire fell off.
Way more
Out
than,
of all,
which is all which I'm happy about.
right, it's awesome to see. All the races I watched this weekend, uh, the tires did fall off at different varying degrees, and I was happy about that. I always love a softer, as soft as the tires you can get away with running. I want to see you run always. Um, Sheldon Creed looked really good in the Xfinity race too. He looked like he was going to contend with Truex there for a little bit. Then once Truex got by him, it was kind of over.
It was over.
Uh, but it was good racing. There was a few incidents, but nothing like super crazy.
Parker
The- the-
Corey Heim, he was number one.
yeah, Corey Heim showed a little bit of that Truck Series inexperience.
That truck,
And took that,
baby.
yeah. I'm going to say that was more of a racing deal, but it was a mistake by Heim, and it cost Parker Kligerman what probably would have been a pretty good day for him.
I don't know. They were struggling pretty bad. Like
He was still top 10.
Maybe. I mean, with that long flag run, though, you don't know how he would have fell off or if he would have gained. Probably would have finished about a 15th place or so.
That's still better than last.
Yeah,
But yeah.
Less than 1 point. Because now
Yeah.
out of the playoffs right now.
Yeah, he's right there on that bubble, which is not where that team wants to be with a good full-time driver in it. And Parker's a good full-time driver.
And with 2 Junior Motorsports cars right there ahead of him that have the capability of winning a race by themselves.
Do they, though?
I mean, the car is driver.
They have the only the 7 and the 8 have proved to me that they have the ability and the pace to win. The 9 and the 1,
I don't know.
I don't know, Chief. I ain't seen anything that's told me that those 2 guys can win.
Or even like run top 5 consistently.
Yeah, there's always seems to be something that happens, and yes, I know, incidents happen, but like a certain somebody that's been there a little longer than anybody but Allgaier might be looking for a ride if he doesn't clean it up.
Maybe.
That's the rumor I'm hearing.
Maybe. In favor of a younger driver.
One that currently drives for Toyota.
Okay, that I did not know.
Yeah, Sammy Smith.
That would be
Sammy Smith to JRM is the rumor I'm hearing. I don't know if there's any truth to it because it was just somebody in a Twitter group chat saying that it was from people they know in JRM. I don't know if I believe it, but that's a rumor that I'm hearing.
That'd be such an L on Toyota and Gibbs' part. Such an L.
I mean, you got John Hunter contending for wins every week.
And Sammy Smith's race.
Yeah.
And he finished second at Martinsville.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. But Joe hasn't shown that he is the best at keeping the people around he should. So we'll see. That's just a rumor. I don't have any truth to it. Take it with a grain of salt. I enjoy the Xfinity race. Dominance, I think, is good for the sport. Not every single week, but every once in a while, you take them out behind the woodshed and you knock them around a bit and you dominate.
Jimmy Johnson fans would agree with you.
So would Truex fans. One of my favorite races ever, from a pure just respect standpoint, is when Martin Truex Jr. led 392 of 400 laps in the Coke 600.
That was amazing. That was
like I'm sure it was awful to watch, in person or if but man, dominance like that is just unfucking real.
That might have been the best car I've ever seen at a track where no restrictor plates or no rule changes or whatever. Just
no gimmicks.
Race.
Yeah. But anyway, let's talk about the Alabama Grand Prix, the IndyCar race at Barber. God, that race was so good.
So good. IndyCar has been bangers all year. All year.
They have not missed.
They have not missed.
And did you see how much rubber was on that track? Oh.
There was a shit ton of it.
Oh. Like, yeah, I know. It doesn't make for the best passing whenever, off the preferred line, there's a ton of rubber. But God, I love tire fallout so much.
I wish we can get NASCAR to that track.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
I love that road course. And
it's so good.
Cool. Like, it's not that far from Talladega. It's 45 minutes from Talladega.
No, and they take the truck series now to Mid Ohio. Mid Ohio is way more narrow than Barber is.
Way more narrow.
So give me a feeder series at Barber. God, it's such a good track.
It's a feeder series for IndyCar. I mean, that's where the IndyCar was at Texas, and the truck series was there a few weeks ago.
Yeah. Like, give me companion events. Like they say over and over that they want these races to be events that draw people in. Well, I don't know what could draw you in more than seeing any kind of racing you could want.
That's true.
Like, shit. Like, do a couple races at Barber the same weekend and have NHRA the day before at the drag strip in Talladega.
Yeah.
45 minutes away. I don't know if there's a drag strip closer to Barber. I don't know Alabama, but like, bring everything. Bring some dirt cars for the night before. Like, just have a fucking ball with it.
Exactly. That's how you maximize the opportunity.
Yeah. Like, I don't like if trucks at Mid Ohio and trucks ARCA and IndyCar were the same weekend and not different weekends, because I was looking at tickets and I can justify one weekend way more than I can justify two, even if it's just a couple hours from my house.
Yeah, just have one big weekend. You don't need two separate dates. I've always been a big advocate of one date per year. One date per year.
Yeah.
And you can maximize the opportunity, like what we saw at Dover. Dover went down to one race and has maximized all opportunity for that one race weekend in Dover.
Other than the fact they have it in the rainiest part of the year. But yeah.
Yeah.
But as far as the race went, it came down to Scotty Mack and Romain Grosjean for the second time already this year.
And he bottled it again. Oh.
I don't think he bottled it so much as he showed his hand way too early.
Yeah, bottle's probably the wrong term.
Like, I think he used way too much push to pass when he was trying to get Scotty on that outlap, and he didn't need to do it because Scotty had cold tires.
Yeah.
Like, you had him. You didn't have to use all of your push to pass in one lap.
He didn't need. He was too aggressive.
But like they said on the broadcast, and like I'll say now, if you keep putting yourself in that position,
you're gonna break through.
That makes it so much easier to win. Like, so much easier. Winning is so hard. Like, when's the last time Scott Dixon won a race? Do you know offhand? Because I know offhand.
It's been a while. I know that.
It was Texas.
Yeah.
Was it? I think it was last year.
You're at Texas, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Texas last year.
It's over a year.
Scott Dixon is like the Jimmy Johnson of IndyCar.
So he's terrible. No, just kidding.
he's the Jimmy Johnson of NASCAR of IndyCar, not the Jimmy Johnson of IndyCar of IndyCar.
Sorry, I had to.
I know. Poor Jimmy. Maybe the next race he runs, Ty Dillon will take him out on the third lap instead of the first one. Anyway, The race was very good.
10 out of 10.
I really wish there hadn't been a caution, but it was warranted. They did let the guys pit, and they were offline, and they made it very clear what they were going to do in that situation before it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Not like NASCAR at Kansas the year before last, where they just let a tire sit in the infield for 19 laps before they would call a caution.
Yeah, that was annoying as hell.
Which, if they'd said beforehand, hey, if this happens, this is what we're going to do, like IndyCar did, it's different.
Yeah.
But it was fine. It was awesome to find. Like, this is the third race at Barber I've watched, and this is the first time that the 3-stop strategies actually worked.
Surprisingly, yeah.
Yeah.
Stop strategy with 90 laps of racing would actually work.
Yeah, you think. But the 2-stop almost worked. I think if things had fell a bit differently and Grosjean had as much fuel as Scotty did, he might not have pushed it as hard. But I still think Scotty was way better after like 20 laps.
He had the better long run car.
Yeah. And then Joseph Newgarden leading the race with a broken car was cool.
Yeah, that was.
Like, he did end up holding up a couple people, Scott Dixon and Will Power and stuff, but like it that was cool. Like, I mean, you don't normally see someone that has such a big issue so early like have any kind of success at all, and to see him lead laps there and actually like have pace for a little bit was cool.
That's the second half of your saying there. Actually have pace to hold off people.
Mm-hmm.
That was crazy.
Yeah. And shout out to Will Power for that fucking last run there. That he was hauling the mail. Like, dude was on fire.
He had one caution.
Yeah, I don't know. But it very much felt like last year's Barber race where Will Power was hunting down the leader, except for this time Will Power was hunting down Grosjean, just couldn't quite get him.
Mm-hmm.
But man, such a good race. Easily my favorite race of the weekend.
IndyCar has delivered this year, to say the least.
Yeah, they might not be the best promoted or the best. I mean, I think Roger's doing a very good job with what he has, and I hope the month of May goes very well. I'm excited for the month of May. We got the Indianapolis Grand Prix, and then we'll have should be more practice, but it's not going to happen. We're going to have the practice and carb day and everything that leads up to the Indy 500, and I'm actually really excited for it. I think if next year I plan on going to the Coke 600, and the year after I'm going to go to the Indy 500.
The Indy 500 is way closer to you than the Coke. Well,
Kinda.
You're in Southeast Ohio. That's right. You're not.
It's like 4 hours and 20 minutes to Indianapolis Motor Speedway from me, and it's just over 6 hours to Charlotte for me. So technically, yeah, it's a bit closer, but also I gotta drive like fucking almost 3 hours of Ohio. Worse than driving through the entirety of because you drive for 3 hours and you're still in Ohio.
Yeah, that's got to be the most boring drive of all time.
Like, it's just awful. There's nothing. It's just highway. There's trees and there's corn and soybeans, and that's it.
That's like my drive to Texas Motor Speedway. It's nothing but open country.
Hell yeah.
It's better now because Texas is more developed.
Yeah.
But it's still, it's very open country. I mean, literally, there's fields outside the racetrack.
Yeah. Fantastic. All right. let's talk the race today. Monday, delayed to Monday due to weather. They tried to start it early yesterday. I'm glad they called it early. I woke up to it being moved to today. I thought the race was pretty good. As about as good as a race at Dover can be.
Yeah.
And
typical Dover.
Yeah, typical Dover. You know, you had comers and goers. Byron led for a while. Ross led for a while. Truex led for the most of the rest of the race, and it was good. Had a couple incidents early. Had Suarez getting loose and spinning out, and then Kyle Busch decided Ty Dillon was going to be in the wreck too. So
yeah, ARCA break.
I guess I only seen like one decent clip of it, and it just looks like he doesn't stop. It looks like he just drives through him. It's like
he wanted Ty Dillon to stay to end early.
Apparently, Jimmy Johnson must have called in a hit or something. I don't know. But you know, Ty Dillon had his day ended early. Suarez had his day ended early. Gragson spun out by himself on a restart,
and his day ended early.
His day ended early. Then, Kyle Busch was back there with Ty Dillon because he sped on pit road. I don't know if I've ever heard that one before. Kyle Busch speeding on pit road and then immediately getting involved in an incident with a back marker.
I've never. That's. I think that's
that. Yeah, that's new. That's got to be new. That's never happened. But anyway, then you had the incident where Ross decided Brendan Poole didn't deserve to be on the racetrack anymore, so he just sent him into the corner and
killed Brendan Poole.
Yeah, and so I don't know if you noticed it because they only talked about it when he hit the wall. What the fuck happened to Chase Briscoe today?
The car was awful, and then he finished it off by getting
bending the toe
and,
link.
Yeah, and then the car was just miserable all day.
Nice. Which
started in the front and immediately fell like a rock.
Yeah, he fell to what, like 15th or 16th before that competition caution?
Comp caution, and then he fell straight to the back.
Yeah. And then Joey Logano was about the same. He had a terrible no good day before he finally brought out the last caution.
Yeah. Penske outside of Blaney was terrible.
Yeah, I don't know what they did different on that 12 car, but they better replug it into the other two.
Penske has been miserable at Dover last week.
I don't understand it. Like, how do they miss so bad at that track consistently?
Well, to be fair, there's really nothing like Dover.
But you'd think as long as they've been around, they would have figured out. I mean, fuck, Rusty Wallace won there.
And Brad was good there for so long.
Yeah.
I mean, Brad was good today.
Yeah, Brad was about the only person I saw that when he hit that tire and it tried to roll back to his pit box.
He recovered from that.
Yeah, he recovered from that. He managed to stay on the lead lap. He made it back up and he finished in the top 10. Like, he drove up through the field. Like, you could do it if you had the skill in the car for it.
It makes me wonder if he doesn't have that penalty, does he finish top 5 or contend for
probably top 5?
Yeah, probably.
And then Harvick quartered 2 runs in a row and completely destroyed his race.
Yeah. That battle for the free pass was so important.
And the booth didn't even react to it.
I know. That was such an important battle. I mean, Bubba barely got Harvick by barely a nose at the line. That's the difference of Harvick staying on the lead lap and Bubba not staying on the lead lap, or vice versa.
Yeah, that basically decided both their races right there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they didn't finish too far from each other. Bubba had something break on the last restart, unfortunately. But shit happens. But
what? That's the first time I've heard about that.
Phil put it on Twitter. They said it on the radio. I don't know what broke, but they had the nurse at home.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. But he finished 13th at Dover. Like,
They ran last year here. They ran in that 12th to 17th range here last year too.
which, I mean, hell, if that's the best that you can get out of that car, then by all means, that's a good day. I think they started damn near shotgun on the field.
Yeah, they started 29th. The car was terrible the first third of the race. I'm surprised he lapped down earlier. Well, he would have if the race.
Cautions had happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they managed to tighten it up, and he managed to keep it on the lead lap most of the day, and that's what made the difference. But Harvick falling from fourth to a lap down in 6 laps wasn't even mentioned by the broadcast, other than him like missing a corner.
It wasn't even 6 laps. I'm pretty sure it was less than that.
You think it wasn't less? I couldn't remember if it was less than that or not, but I knew that it was like within 6 laps.
It was like 3 laps. He fell from like fourth to off the
14. Yeah. Fucking wild. But yeah, that was such a wild move. Props to Bubba and that whole team. Props to Corey LaJoie for running top 15 all day.
Yeah.
And
right there, he was behind Bubba and Harvick for that battle for the free pass.
Yeah, he was right there. And it happens. But he kept himself right there all day too if they just had a few more cautions.
Mm-hmm. But it's still a good run for that team. That's the best run they've had in a minute.
Yeah, for sure. And I want to say this here. I've said it other places, and I haven't told you it yet. But that 7 and that 77 car are the same car.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't look like it, but yeah, they are.
Well, user error. And Ty Dillon dropped in 25th in the first 15 laps.
Yeah, and stayed there until
he got wrecked. Which that wasn't his fault, but his pace was the reason he was back there. And Corey gets a better engine. I think it was 12 races a year. They bought engines where they bought 6 extra engines, like better engines. But outside of that, those cars are exactly the same every week. Yeah. Good run by Corey. Maybe if Ty Dillon put some more work in, he'd see some better results too.
Mm-hmm.
Blaney almost stole that win.
Blaney needs to be more aggressive.
He tried, man. He gave it all I had. He only had 2 fresh tires.
You needed to run Truex basically in the wall.
Yeah, but then Ross would have passed both of them.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what it looked like happened. Is like, man, I'll just push Truex wide, and they say, oh shit, Ross is coming. But Truex finally wins a points paying race. He breaks his 56 race winless streak.
The first win for Joe Gibbs Racing at Dover since forever. Well, I guess Truex, right? 2019.
Yeah. That sounds right. Because it's been Chevy the last couple of years. Because they didn't go there in 2020, and then 2021 was Bowman, and 2022 was Chase.
Yeah. So first in 2019.
And first time in NASCAR history that the weekend has been swept by 2 brothers driving for the same manufacturer and the same car number.
That's impressive.
And Martin Truex Sr., I think he might be going back to the casino tonight.
Yes. Also, I want to give a quick shout out. Ty Gibbs ran a great race today.
God, he did. So, he's so lucky that caution came out, but God, he ran good.
Yeah, he legit had a top 5 car and should have finished there, and then the team didn't get the car full of fuel at the end. I just want to quick shout out.
Yeah. Unfortunate, but it was a good run by them. I'm glad he's finally found his footing. I'm glad he's showing the pace that car can show.
Mm-hmm.
Really, all 4 of every Toyota really showed pace today.
Yeah.
Which I know nothing's like Dover, but like it's the intermediate package, and we're going to Kansas next week.
Oh, I can't wait. Oh my goodness. I can't wait.
I'm so excited. I don't know if Billy listens to this. I'm already picking Bubba for next week. So
Oh, I would pick Tyler because he ran so good in the 8 car year last year, and he's in
so what?
both.
Didn't he cut a tire
Yeah,
in
he
the spring race?
both races actually,
Yeah.
running in the top 5 in both, and he ends up not finishing where he deserves.
Well, that sounds about like his luck at RCR.
I'll just say this: if a Toyota does not win next weekend, that would be an absolute, honestly, kind of embarrassing because they have that track figured out.
Yeah.
Package.
It's going to be a Toyota. I don't know which one it's going to be, but I think it'll be a pretty good race.
Mm-hmm.
The weather report is not looking promising right now, so he might be having another Monday race, but I kind of hope not. I'd like to have the race on time.
You know, I just thought about this. Reddick is going to have the McDonald's car again next week.
Is it?
Yes. I mentioned
Nice.
that scheme, by the way, because that's going to be a new scheme.
Ooh.
When was obviously Bubba won at Talladega last year, or in the rain shortened race,
2020.
2021.
Was it 21?
Yeah, the fall.
Oh, yeah, it was the last year of the old car. That's right.
Yeah. When was the last time McDonald's won a full length race that was a points paying event?
Like 1992.
Oh, my goodness.
They never won with Bill Elliott. They never won as a primary with Jamie McMurray.
Yeah, and they never won with Kane. They never won with
And they never won with Larson or Kenseth.
Nope.
Or Ross.
Larson was close.
Yeah, that was back when Larson was driving over his head in that 42 car. Which, to be fair, he was carrying a 15th place car.
Yeah, he was.
But he still botched. He still bottled it.
He still bottled. Man, think about how many races Kyle Larson has blown in his career.
Yeah, I know. It seemed like with Ganassi, it was either he'd bottle the race or his engine would just explode.
Ironically, both at Kansas.
Right. But yeah, I think that'll do us. That's this week. Next weekend we have ARCA, we have trucks, we have Cup at Kansas, and we have the Miami Grand Prix for F1. I'm excited for about 2.5 of those races.
2.5.
Yeah, the ARCA race doesn't count as a full race. I'm sorry.
I don't even know who's going to win that ARCA race, to be honest. I have to look at
whoever's in the Venturi or Gibbs car.
Yeah, it's probably going to be Taylor Gray, isn't it?
Him or Heim or Jesse Love, whoever's. I don't even know who's racing.
Whoever is driving the Toyota that has actual pace.
Yeah, but we'll see how that goes. Thanks anybody who took the time to listen, and thanks Robert for coming and bullshitting with me. I appreciate it.
No problem.
And yeah, we'll talk to you guys in a couple of days, and we might be talking about some of the controversy with Kansas finishes, like letting a driver who's run out of fuel win the race.
The bonsai move.
That's a good one too.